Greetings! Today we're talking about screen printing. If you click the video, obviously I have a little bit of interest in screen printing. So up front, I'll tell you this is not a training video. This is not a, it's an overview and it covers start to finish, but it's not detailed, it's not explained. So you'll have to tune in later if you're interested in that kind of thing. And that message is pretty much for the screen printers. For the clients or people that are interested in screen printing, this video will be great for you to get an understanding. One of the first things you got to understand about screen printing is what is screen printing, right? Screen printing is literally, think of stencils when you were a child. We had the little ABCs, the stencils, and you colored in and figured out how to write letters properly. Or, you've seen spray painters, they might stencil some art that they made from a piece of plastic or cardboard. So you have the design and you push the ink through. That's what screen printing is. So one of the first things to learn or to understand about screen printing is the art is everything. The art, the image, what you actually want to see on your clothing or your paper, your poster, whatever it is, the art is essential. They say garbage in, garbage out. If the image is bad, there's no way that it's going to come out nice on your garment. So we have to start with good art. Okay, as far as this artwork, which what you're looking at, you're just looking at a couple various pieces, colorful pieces that I like to play with, right? One of the most important things for you to understand as a client or a person who's thinking about getting something done on their shirt, you have to understand that every color requires a screen, right? Every screen requires a film. So this is more work, this is more resources put into it, which drive your cost up. So it's important to understand the cost and not ever feel like the screen printer might be taking advantage of you. For simplicity and time's sake, we'll start with a basic design, one color design that I recently got a request for. Once you have the design laid out the way you want it, the size that you want it, the next thing to do is to print the film. The film is essential in the screen printing process. Okay, so the next step we want to talk about is the screen selection and screen prep. You're going to find your screen, you're going to get all the ink off of it if there's ink on it, or if not, a brand new screen, you still have to prep it. You prep it by washing it, and I'll show you that here. So once the screen is dried, now we can actually go ahead and prepare the emulsion that will go onto the screen. What emulsion is pretty much a light sensitive paint of sorts, right? This emulsion is actually what we're going to use to create the stencil. We have to start by making sure that we coat the screen on both sides to create a nice solid stencil. Once the screen is coated, now you let it dry. Keep in mind, the drying times vary widely. Too many variables can dictate the time that it takes. So just for basics, just assume that it takes overnight. Once the emulsion is dried, now we move on to the next step. The next step is to apply the film to the emulsion. Now what this film is going to do is block the light that's hitting the emulsion. When it blocks the light, all of the rest of the emulsion will harden. Where it was blocked will stay soft. It'll be easy to wash out, which makes it easy to create our stencil. Our next step is to take the screen to the washout booth. We're going to wet the screen, let it soak for a second, then we're going to cut on the pressure washer. Boom, high power, we're going to blow out the soft emulsion that didn't get hardened by the light. Once we rinse it all out, now we just sit it, let it air dry or with the fan. Once the screen is dry, we're ready to print it. Now all we have to do is put it on the press, line it up, put the ink of choice on, and start printing. This particular request asks for white ink. Most of the time, white ink is more complicated than other inks. It goes on a darker garment, and sometimes it requires multiple coats. In between those coats, what we call is a flash. We apply an amount of heat to it and let it flash. It dries a little bit. Doesn't dry all the way, but it dries a little bit so we can stack on another layer, making it opaque and not see-through. Once we have the layers that we need, now the only thing to do is to cure it. We cure it simply by heating it up to 320 degrees. The ink has to hit 320 degrees to dry thoroughly. In normal production, we simply grab the shirts, take it off the press, throw it right on the conveyor dryer. This way we can dry tons of shirts in a very short amount of time with least amount of work. What you just saw was a one color design. I'll show you a couple 2-color designs that we worked on just so you get the idea of how the process goes. It's pretty simple, but every color requires another screen, another film. It's just a little bit more work as you add on colors. Here we go. What I like to do in my shop, I like to put my personal colors, my favorite colors that I normally use, closer to my press. Sometimes my favorite colors won't do. Sometimes we have to mix colors to make a specific color for a client. That's always fun. On screen, it doesn't match as well, but I promise you, we mixed it to perfection. It is the exact color as the shoes. So don't be afraid to ask for your special requests. Anything can get done. If you've seen it before, we can do it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. We'll do more videos later, but this video really was just to show you the entire process, how much work goes in just making one shirt. So keep that in mind when you ask for multiple designs in one order. You know, they want one shirt. Screen printing probably ain't the way. There are other ways to get you other shirts done, like single orders, but screen printing is not the way. Having said that, whether you have one shirt or 1,000 shirts, one design or 1,000 designs, just let me know. Get with me and we'll work it out. You know, we'll point you in the right direction and get you the quotes that you need for each job. Look forward to talking to you. Social media. It is obvious that I'm not on my IG like I should be, right? I'm guilty, that's cool, but I'm trying to change that. So I need you to help me change that. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you don't want to see. So I can show you some behind the scenes, I can show you some design technique, I can show you troubleshooting. Anything that you want to see, just let me know and we'll get it up there, and I'll be doing more videos, of course, but it's important that it's interactive. It's pretty uncomfortable just talking to nobody, so give me somebody to talk to and stay in touch. Appreciate your time.